Hello, everybody, and welcome to Shift+F1, a podcast about speedy race cars. I am Drew Scanlon. Joining me, we have Danny O'Dwyer. How are you, Danny?
I'm doing fantastic. If I look or sound a bit different, it's because I'm using a different mic and I'm in a different place. But I'm still at home.
Still Irish.
Still Irish.
But he's out in the barn.
I'm out in the barn, babe. The wife has put me out here now. I'm not allowed to be in the house anymore after she found out what I done, you know. Jesus. Do you want me to do the whole? I can do the whole podcast like this if you want.
No.
Sure.
I've been watching a lot of Blue Lights, which is a cop
Lights?
show based in Northern Ireland.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
It's
like
we're good.
Like present day or
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Northern Ireland.
There's a lot of like, the peelers have got your da.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Wow, that's good. That's probably a better Northern Irish accent than I can do. We used to say,
did somebody grass him out?
Oh, there's a lot of touts going
touts.
on. Yeah.
My favorite thing to say in Northern Irish accent is power shower. Power shower.
What is it? What is
A power shower, like an electric shower. Do you guys not have those?
No.
Like a coil heated shower. They're really loud. We have them in Ireland a lot.
It's not like water. So wait, is that like? Sorry, is that like tankless? But like we just put a coil on the water coming out.
Yeah, it's kind of scary because it's just like the box is there and then you press a button on it, like in the shower. So you're in there with the electric
With the toaster.
thing. With the toaster, yes, correct. And it's like, and then the water goes through it. And so instead of having to heat the water,
Is the water
tank,
hot or is it like
yeah.
tepid?
Water's
Okay.
instantly hot, but it's a lot of Irish houses have like old plumbing, and it's hard to get sometimes the hot water to the spot in the house. So you just put in a power shower. How you
buddy of
know,
mine
Brian
lived in-
McKay? You know.
All right.
Lived in
on
Pittsburgh.
Sorry,
Okay,
to everyone
go
up
ahead,
north,
Rob.
by the way.
Sorry, the Pittsburgh toilet.
No, so I was talking accents. He says that there, towel and pile rhyme. A big old pile of towels.
Where's this? Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh, yeah.
Towel and
A
pile?
towel pile. Big old pile of towels.
Towel pile.
Yep.
So, on this topic though, I have recommendations, one for each of you.
Okay.
I guess they're both the same author, but he's really good. Northern Irish writer. His first novel is, I think, still his best. He's Adrian McKinty.
Okay.
He wrote a book called Dead I Well May Be that is one of the hardest crime epics I've ever read. It is about like Northern Irish guy who gets caught up in like basically a benefit scam, and he has to flee Northern Ireland, and he gets thrown in with a like small American Irish gangster in New York in the early 90s. And it is just about the sort of escalating cascade of shit that he gets into like as a low level enforcer for this guy. But then he writes a series, Drew, that I think you might really enjoy if you enjoyed the show. He writes a series. It's a police procedural set in Northern Ireland during the Troubles. And it is like Catholic cop working for the Royal Ulster Constabulary, sort of a man without a country, trying to solve murders against the backdrop of the politics and events of like of not just the Troubles, but like there's a book where like you just forget insane shit was happening all the time in that era. Like there's a book that hinges on John DeLorean and the scandal of the DeLorean Motor Company.
He brought it back.
Like,
He brought it back to cars, folks.
no, that like Northern Ireland had really hitched a lot of its like, you know, its Thatcher era industry is dying. Here comes this like charismatic like American genius coming to open a motor car company in Northern Ireland, and just how it all goes to fucking ash over the course of over a few months. Really great series though.
Nice.
And it is like it pays off incredibly.
Yeah, same with Say Nothing, a series based on a book by Patrick Radden Keefe about the Troubles. Both the book and the show are very, very good.
This is a little political, though. I'm sorry. Like, this is a little adjacent to politics.
Keep
Look,
politics
man,
out
look,
of Northern Ireland.
We're
Is that what you're
recording
saying?
this, and at the moment, the president just posted. I don't even know what to say about what he just posted. Is that a threat of nuclear Armageddon? I don't know.
Well,
Hey, by the time you listen to this, if you're a patron, you got to watch it. Listen to
I'm a little concerned that we're recording because, like, if we're recording, that could mean nuclear Armageddon happens like immediately after we finish recording, because that is just what happens.
Oh, you think that the
news
Shift
drops.
F1 curse?
And the F1 schedule. Oh, you're saying that we'll make it happen because
Yeah.
of the podcast curse. Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Of news
Yeah.
coming out right after we record. Yeah, that's Rob Zachney. If you're new to this podcast, a very warm welcome to you. And if you are new to Formula One, well, first of all, you may have noticed we haven't really talked about cars or Formula One. That's because Formula One is taking a little break because of the war in Iran. We were going to go to
keep on.
Bahrain and then Saudi Arabia. But it's a little worry over there, so we're taking a spring break. And
Spring break.
We'll be back. Let's see. Well, what did we say? So next week we're posting in the regular feed. We're posting the first half of our Drive to Survive review that went up earlier for patrons.
Correct.
And then the following week we won't have one up for the in the regular feed, but we will have one for our patrons, a Formula 2 primer. Danny,
Yes.
I believe is
Much
the schedule
asked
we're going with.
For yes, I'm excited to tackle that one. Yeah, we've been and yeah, especially with I feel like especially with F1 being in the direction it's been, there might be some extra thirst for Formula 2, considering they don't have much of the technical advancements question mark that F1
Changes.
has.
Yeah,
Changes,
and because we've had 3 races of 3 rounds of F1, we've also had 3 rounds of F2. So you could go back and watch those if you are looking for things to watch, racing to watch. But if you are new to Formula One itself, we recommend listening to our preseason primer episode. Now is a great time to get caught up in this intervening time before the season resumes. Our primer assumes no prior F1 knowledge and explains how the sport works and who everybody is. So if you'd like to go back and listen to that, it's episode 338. Also, this show would not be possible without our audience over at patreon.com/shiftf1, where, as mentioned, every month we release ad-free versions of the podcast early, along with bonus podcasts and videos exclusively for our patrons that cover racing documentaries and films, F1 video games, experiments with other racing series, and a lot of weird things. So if you would like to support the show and get access to all that fun stuff, head over to patreon.com/shiftf1 or click the link in the show notes. We kind of just mentioned what we got going on this month, Danny, but anything else you want to catch up on Patreon-wise?
No, just shout out to our incredible title sponsor patrons. The Military Industrial Complex, Warizzle. Oh, God, what a boom time for that guy. Warizzle, R.I.P. Egberto and Igor Furman, TVGP.TV, that video game podcast. Let's Margo Racing, Eaching Wells, Dr. V, Deange, It's a Me, Ferrario, AI-generated content, Mojo Nixon, Get Rich or Die Ryan, Agave ATX, Cyphers Training, Turf SCS, Michael Maves, Cigarettes, TelemetryDac.com, FTC, Bottas Not Last, Drew Stewart, Super Clippy, Bailey Foot, Abraham Getchell, The H Button, Hashtag Bunny Jerk, Snigs, Nicotine Pouches, Alex Goucher, Maxwell Tar Keyboards, Jeff Foster, Troy Stammer, William Romph, Lachlan the Maddened Man, Samurai Love Story, and Jason Kelly. Thank you all so much. You are the best. And also, I want to quickly shout out Bottas Not Last. Did you guys see the Valtteri Bottas interview that he did with Sky Sports from his place in Australia?
I did not watch it.
You shared this in the chat. Yeah.
It's a good time. He is chilling. He is loving his life in Australia. He has an Airbnb on his property, and he openly invites people in the video, to go there. So we need to find a slot in the year where we'll know he'll be there.
I so badly want to go to Australia too. Like never been. Always seems awesome.
I think he's in an area called McLaren, which is a bit weird. but I mean, it's not weird because Bruce McLaren was Australian, but like it's just given his team. But yeah, he said that he's hung out with some of the guests. You know, he helped some ladies with their bags and did all that. And
Okay.
yeah, he can drink some of his wine. He's got a vineyard. He lives on a vineyard. He can drink some Bottas wine. You know.
Do you have to like sign something though if you're like staying as Airbnb? Like if he's around, you might see his dick.
Yeah. He's
like
going.
He's
going in a
wandering
sauna
around
every
like
day.
this
Yeah.
one. Like, look, you did like we got a great. We're thrilled to host you. We got a great little slice of heaven here. But like Eden, Valtteri lives in a state of innocence, a prelapsarian innocence, and you will just sometimes find him wandering around in the nude.
But I feel like if people don't know Valtteri Bottas, they might think that's a weird thing to say, but this is a man who has produced a nude calendar. So, you know, his butt has priors.
His turnaround as a personality.
Oh my God.
Started with nudes.
It did.
Like it started like it was like he was such a like buttoned down kind of dour character at Mercedes for years and years, and the first cracks in the facade were just like no comment posts of like yeah, exactly. Just no comment posts of like him swimming naked in the stream somewhere in like Finland.
And then didn't he like get that photo frame and give it to Lewis Hamilton?
Yeah,
he did. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you can't tell, a little light on the news this week, but we will get to your emails.
This is mostly an email episode.
It's mostly an email episode, but I just did want to cap some reset on some things. We mentioned last episode there will be a meeting of the teams and Formula One on Thursday this week, April 9th, where this is sort of a planned meeting that was always going to happen. It's sort of a, hey, how are we feeling about the new regulations? How are we feeling about these new rules? So that is happening on April 9th, and they will be discussing things like, hey, qualifying is, because of the whole battery thing, we're not going full tilt on a qualifying lap. Are we cool with that? Or are we cool with how much these cars have to recharge at the end of a straight? And we're probably not cool with the discrepancy in closing in speeds when someone is recharging and someone is not. The closing speed gap, therefore, is quite large, as we saw in the last round when Oliver Behrman had to go off track to avoid a very slow Franco Colapinto. So they will all be discussing that stuff on Thursday. We don't really have a lot of insight into where things are going to go, but stay tuned to the F1 news and this podcast, of course. We will have our, I guess, when we come back before Miami, we'll have more to say about that.
Yeah, and they were doing this obviously beforehand, but then I feel like the Colapinto,
yes,
who crashed? No, Behrman. Sorry,
Behrman.
The Behrman incident at Suzuka is sort of rustled up that particular issue to the fore, I suspect. Yeah, and I wonder what they're going to do. I mean, I think my money would be on them sort of, I mean, they can only do so much with regard how much power.
There's some levers you can pull,
can
with like
down.
how much you regenerate, how much you can deploy. Like those are variables that can be tweaked. How much you can tweak those and still have, a racing series, how much they want to tweak them,
They might have to slow the cars down as well. You know what I mean? Like that might be part of it as well. Like the ceiling is there, but they might also pull it back a bit. We'll have to wait and see.
Another thing that is kind of in the background here, which we haven't really discussed, is what's called the Additional Development and Upgrade Opportunities, or ADUO system. This is sort of because of the new regulations. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So new regulations coming in, new power unit manufacturers coming in Audi and Cadillac. Formula One has a system basically where you can if you are a manufacturer and your engine is behind, you can there's more allowance for you to develop that engine and get a little closer. So the technical side of it is F1 has like a method of determining the overall performance index, they call it, of a particular engine. So they'll do this with every engine and get a number. And for any engine that is between 2 and 4% behind, they will get a basically one upgrade this year and then one upgrade next year to be able to bring their engine a little closer to the upper tier of performance. If you are below, if you're more than 4% off, you get 2.
This I feel
2
like
in this
this
season
is,
and then 2 in the next season.
if you play video games, this feels very normal. This is like rested XP, or like, you know, the game trying to get you to come back. Like, here, have 100 V-Bucks. You know what I mean? Like, come on back. It's okay. You're good. But
So-
yeah, it's to basically stop drift, as it were. Not around corners, but between the teams, to try and compress the field as much as possible. They should have a special allowance though for certain teams. They should be allowed. Hey, we'll just replace your car. Don't worry about it. Bring it back in as a bum model. We're sorry. Here's a new one. Don't worry. You know, no love lost.
Yeah, so the thing about this break is that it has, first of all, regarding AUDO, they had planned for the first assessment to come 6 races in, which would have been Miami. But because we're now missing 2, they are thinking of pushing that out to Monaco. So that has some implications for some of these teams catching up. However, the break also is another opportunity for some teams to kind of take a reset and consider their upgrade path. However, but again, on the other side, someone like, I think you were alluding to, Danny, Aston Martin, might not enjoy this break because they were effectively using the races as test beds, right? Practice sessions. And so they won't be getting those. So, it'll help some, it'll hurt some. We've got AUDO in the background here. We've got the April 9th meeting in the background here. So when we come back, we'll probably have a lot to discuss. And like we've said, over the course of a season, things can drastically change. Will they this time? We'll see.
Verstappen also, the Verstappen question, interesting with regard to the break, because it's like, maybe this is what he needs to step away from the sport for a little bit to cool off, or maybe this is going to give him
To play
a little
iRacing.
taste of life after
Oh.
F1. Hanging out with the homies, playing Arc Raiders. Have you watched this Arc Raiders stream?
No, is he playing Arc Raiders?
Yeah, he's really good. He's pretty good.
that's
He's got
great.
a little crew of people, and it's very, very strange to watch Max Verstappen saying like, "Watch out for the Rocketeer," and like,
Yeah, I mean, we knew all of them played video games in COVID, but I thought Verstappen was strictly iRacing. I knew
So,
Norris
yeah.
he played some Tarkov, I guess. But
yeah, he played some Tarkov as well. So I guess like Arc Raiders is like baby Tarkov to
Who's-
him,
Him
probably.
playing
who am I
Tarkov is the
going to
least
get on
surprising
my marathon team?
Yes. Who won?
Who's going to join my marathon team? Is it Albon? Is he a marathon guy?
Who would be a marathon person?
Bottas?
No, it'll be like Behrman or someone. One of the
Lewis and
younger guys.
Gasly are Call of Duty guys, right? And
Oh, I think
they
play
They're all-
for sure.
No,
FIFA. I bet FIFA or whatever it's EA Sports FC or whatever it's called now. I bet they're all big.
Yeah. God damn. See, this is the problem. It's the hot and cold Verstappen experience, though, right? Where it's like, yeah, we got a Tarkov guy on the grid.
Yeah, 100%.
And like, is that also alarming in the same ways that like sometimes Max can be more, like a bit much? Yeah, he would be a Tarkov guy. But also, it's like
Cutthroat.
kind of cool though.
I mean, you can't be. You can pick up Call of Duty and FIFA or whatever as a casual player, but like if you're playing Tarkov and jumping
And you're
into,
willing to be miserable.
yeah, you're ready to live in that world and lose everything. Put
If
it all on the
If people are
line.
listening to this, because again, our origins are in video game land,
Yes.
but if people are more approaching this from the standpoint of, I
Normie
don't,
perspective.
yeah. So the way I would put it is what we were joking about is like Lewis and Pierre play Call of Duty, the big popular military shooter. Like everyone and their brother plays that. Max Verstappen playing Tarkov, that is an Eastern European multiplayer shooter that is basically set in like a bombed out post-Soviet hellscape. And if you lose, and this is the key thing, in normal games, like RPGs, you equip items from your inventory, but if you die, you just respawn, you still have everything.
Yeah.
Tarkov was like one of the first games to be like, what if you didn't? What if you died in a multiplayer game, you lost everything you brought with you? And when you go back out to the main menu, now you just don't have a machine gun anymore. Now maybe you get like all the nice stuff you brought, that's gone. Now you get like a rusted out like Soviet officer's pistol from like 1975. And now dig your way out of that hole.
Yeah.
Like go back into the game with this like piece of shit pistol. And like maybe you can find another gun. I don't know. But you probably get killed by people with like high-end NATO hardware and stuff. That's that game. Like, it is just like the failure spirals in that game, like F1. It is a game of like virtuous, but also vicious cycles where like loss begets loss begets loss, victory begets like gain of resources, but it'll drive you mad. Max playing that is like the most Max thing you can imagine, but also it's so weird to think of like an accomplished athlete investing time in a game.
Yeah, because you
that is a truly sick lifestyle.
Yeah, exactly. It's not. It's like you can pick up the other games as like a normie, as it were. But if you're playing Tarkov, like Tarkov is, I play a lot of games. I have 300 hours in Arc Raiders, a similar type game. I will not play Tarkov. It is a game that you will leave
feeling bad.
My god,
like
it terrifies me.
Call of Duty, it's like, hey, like, shoot the shit with your buddies, lean back on the couch. Like, yeah, so what's up? Like, bam, bam, bam. Fun. Tarkov is like, I played for 3 hours. I now want to stick my computer in a microwave and hit like 5 minutes and walk away.
Dude, my neighbor next door here, when I first met him, I was like, do you play any games? And he was like, yeah, I play Tarkov. And my respect for him instantly shot up. I was like, dude.
But also,
and maybe fear?
Maybe
fear of him?
I was like, all right, you hear any noises in my yard? You that's not me or my family. You use those skills, my friend.
Well, we've got a couple more news items here. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be back with them. All right. Wait. First of all, was Verstappen playing Tarkov? I know Norris was.
No, he's playing Arc Raiders, but he has played Tarkov in the past.
Oh, he has? Okay. All right.
I think.
All right, Rob, you've got a couple here. Speaking of, I don't know. We were talking about.
Yeah, threats.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So, over this past weekend, on their social channels, Alpine released kind of a weird statement. Usually, not a weird statement. Like we see statements like this a lot, but it was kind of like, what is this about? They released an open letter addressing allegations that they were sabotaging Franco Colapinto and favoring Gasly. And it's one of those things where the existence of an open letter implies a great deal about like what it must be in response to. Mm-hmm. And there were a couple things. One, to play the standard game of like, we take all harassment and negativity seriously. We've also like, Franco's getting death threats from people who think he put Behrman into the wall on purpose. But also, we need to address the fact that people are making horrible allegations against members of our team about the team favoring Pierre Gasly and sabotaging Franco Colapinto's car. And then, like, it is a long letter talking about like none of this is true. Franco and Pierre get along great. They're actually over there in the garage, heads together, working on the cars together right now. They're buds. But it was all of a piece with the thing we've talked about with Franco before, and also with Argentine ultras is I think what they're sort of called in like football circles, where it's just like every fan community and every country has a version of this, but it does seem like Argentina maybe has a slightly outsized reputation relative to the country's size for producing an absolutely unhinged, rabid fan culture that goes on social media and harasses people as a way of supporting like Argentine athletes and teams. And we saw that happen with God, I've already forgotten his name, over in IndyCar. There was it'll come to us like 5 minutes after we stop recording, but similar issues there where like IndyCar was suddenly dealing with like weird harassment and abuse coming from supporters of this one driver. And Franco, it's been an interesting arc because, and I think we talked about this when he sort of first burst on the scene a couple of years ago. He himself is, by all accounts, like an expert social media user, very funny, very charming, had a huge following. And that was the story for a bit, but since he got into F1, now it's less about his posts and the following he has with like his own personal popularity, and it's more about kind of the wild abusive stuff that his supporters are getting up to in and around the sport. This also happens sort of parenthetically with in Drive to Survive, Doohan talking about how scary it was during his time as like a marked man at Alpine. And the documentary didn't call this out directly because it's kind of it's not the business that documentary is in, but they sort of made it seem like people are just pissed at Alpine for not having a great driver in the car, and Doohan's but really it was very clear that elliptically what they were talking about is Doohan was in Colapinto's seat, and he was getting wild, scary fan harassment for the crime of not being Franco Colapinto and like blocking his position F1, which, by the way, everyone basically knew was a done deal. Like, Doohan was a marked man. It was just fans viciously harassing him. Now that is happening again. And to me, the open letter is concerning in part, like, obviously the stuff shouldn't be happening. It's bad news. But the other part of it is for it to hit a point where a team releases a statement like this suggests to me that the team felt they had to do something.
Yeah.
And that could be other teams getting sick of their own socials being inundated with like harassment from Colapinto fans. And it's like, you got to do something about, he's in your camp, his fans are your responsibility. Could also be though people within Alpine are like, we are getting, gamer-gated almost.
Right.
Or like sweet baby, as it were, for the crime of just like existing in this team with Franco Colapinto, and the team's having to take some sort of position to deal with what is becoming an internal morale problem, just based around this guy. I have not seen anything that suggests Franco Colapinto has done anything to drive this. I also, now mind you, I don't follow this stuff super closely. I personally haven't seen anything to suggest that Franco Colapinto has really tried to shut it down. But for a statement like this to come out, says to me there's a problem. And at a certain point, whatever the financial backing Franco Colapinto has, there is a degree to which everything is on a ledger, right? Cost benefits. Even if this guy's bringing in sponsor money, if it comes with such intense, invasive harassment that like internally members of the team are starting to feel unsafe and unable to focus, then there is a point where you got to deal with this. And that might be what happened in IndyCar was eventually they just got rid of that guy. Not like his performance wasn't amazing, but it wasn't terrible. It was just
but it definitely
all the shit he came with.
Yeah.
Augustine
100%.
Canapino.
Yes.
Was that the guy, or was that the guy who was given the death threats?
No. That was the guy.
That was the guy? Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I think like Colapinto, I think, is in a little bit of danger, just from the standpoint of, hey, dude, you come with a lot of baggage, just by virtue of this fan base that's attached itself to you. And I mean, man, Alpine's a team that's trying to get its shit together, right? Like, undo the damage of Laurent Rossi. If it's this bad, guys, like, imagine you're interviewing somebody you want to hire, and like part of it's like, come over to Alpine. This becomes part of the conversation, right? Like, this is something that like you would be considering as part of any sort of recruitment.
How are you going to protect my home address? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you said, we don't know. Probably a lot of this probably isn't in the public, and if you try and look for it, you might be sort of reading tea leaves a little bit. But yeah, the fact that they came out with this unfortunately means that there was a motivation to do so. So yeah, it's hopefully it's just bored F1 fans in the gap, But yeah, it's a shame.
Well,
hopefully we can all move on from it,
Well,
it's also just like such a ludicrous idea. Like, why would a team do this? Like, that's what's striking to me about this, is that they're coming out and saying like an open letter about how Franco Colapinto is not an alien.
I think that's it. I think it emerges from the same places, like stuff like you said, Rob, like, the seed of things like Gamergate and all those things is a lot of it is just like people who are angry and bored. Like, they don't. Do they really believe a thing is happening? They just want to find a target and get angry at them. They don't. The rush of everyone doing it. It's like the Naruto run into Area 51. It's the same thing. It's like it's protection in a group. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we're doing this. All right, let's do it. Let's cause sabotage. And it's outside of we used to just like listen to metal music and drink in the park, but like this is now what people
Well, and I think
push their frustration into.
And I think that stuff also, and I think this is just broader about the broader like moment in the world, in online life, is that I think there are a ton of people who are deeply self-centered, selfish, but it's tough to square that with like the obvious evidence of your relative insignificance and powerlessness, right? Like, you can't affect the world. You can react to it, but you can't do anything to make anything happen in that space.
Rob, we're playing you out. Your speech has been too long. The music's coming on.
But I think where this like lines up is there's a lot of people who, through harassment campaigns, you can at least see something happen, right? You can see the world react, and that's part of the attraction. Is like it becomes kind of fun because it's like you're part of something that produces a visible effect. Even that effect is an open letter to please stop harassing us, or people talking about how they're like, having to like hide their address.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move from Alpine, Rob, to Audi.
Yeah, no real news. Just since Wheatley left, Mattia Binotto made clear that he'll sort of be stepping in as taking on most of the team principal duties. And what he really wants is somebody to take on trackside duties during like race weekends. And the suggestion is that is part maybe of why Wheatley left, in addition to the rumors that like he hated Switzerland and so did his spouse. It was a little bit too much. It was also a too many cooks situation, right? Where I thought I was going to be the team principal and like have sort of end-to-end control of this team. But now Mattia is also doing a lot of that, and I'm kind of running the pit wall, which is not what I signed up for. And that the gloss on that was Wheatley took this job intending it as a big promotion over sporting director at Red Bull. And since then, he's kind of finding himself a little bit closer to being sporting director under Mattia Binotto.
Yeah. This is nothing in here is contradicting the earlier rumors that he is going to Aston Martin, though. So, but it is maybe providing a reason that he was looking in the first place. So that's not yet confirmed that he's going to Aston Martin, but That is what all the motorsport news people understand. All right, well, that's the news, such as it is. Shall we take it to the emails? Yeah, looks like we're kicking things off here with Danny.
Yeah, Shift+F1
I'm sorry, I
podcast
should
at
read it.
gmail.com or
Yep.
f1.cool/emails if you want to send us some electronic mails. 'Tis the season. Will we do emails on the pre-Miami show? Probably, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be coming up. But here's the first email. I don't know who sent it in. It's anonymous, let's say. This might be common knowledge, but I only found out today that the Japanese version of Mario Kart 64 has Marlboro-style fake sponsors. This is true. Have you guys seen this?
I just pasted into the Discord the picture of the Mario row.
I'll just put it right there in the doc. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just says Mario Row in the Marlboro font. Unmistakable.
With the crown flipped.
Yes,
on the
exactly.
logo.
Yeah. You got Donkey Kong driving straight into it. It's good stuff.
I mean, this is this is a great one, but there are many more parodies of advertisers in Mario 64. There's like petroleum sponsors. I feel like I saw a grid of all of them.
Oh, really?
Maybe in our Discord. Yeah. So I'll see if I can find that for the show notes.
Okay, I've got a couple. Yeah, it got. We have Yoshi 1.
For mobile one.
For mobile 1, yeah. Koopa Air. I don't know what logo that is. Here, I'm gonna paste this in so you guys can see this. Oh yeah, there we go. Yoshi 1 for mobile 1. 76 has 64.
Oh, that's good.
Which is pretty good. So it's Goodyear has Koopa Air. Marlboro, of course. Ajip has Louis-Jip, which is pretty
Nice.
good. Yeah, it's good, man. Parody can that's get around a lot of copyright law with that stuff. It's beautiful. It's a good time.
That's good.
All right, our next email comes from Natalie. Got 8 minutes in episode 340 and had to write in my first email. Been listening, subscribing since 2021. Full transparency. My sponsor level would be the equivalent of having a logo on a driver's ankle. But I just wanted to respond to the one listener the one loser who thought you were too political.
Oh,
A,
no.
you are not. B, that's the sort of person who hates DEI, but is also sued because they lost out on a job due to being white. My husband's cousin did this with the Boston police. He too hates politics.
Jesus Christ.
That is, wow. Suing the Boston police because you think they're anti-white is...
Wow. That's just, fucking hell. No easy day for that lawyer. Trying to prove that one. Man. Thank you, Natalie. There you go. Have either of you ever lost a job for being white? It's the only question I could think of. Oh,
All
Sorry,
right.
now. Should I take this from? Yeah, from Alan. Okay, I've not read this, but I've looked ahead and I'm very excited.
Okay.
Just finished your Australian GP and Chinese GP pre-race podcast. I enjoyed it as much as I always do, and was even more excited when Rob wondered what the biggest airplane one could land on the Shanghai back straight might be. I fly jets for a living.
Oh my
and
God.
the opportunity to merge my favorite sport with my profession is somewhat rare, so I apologize if this gets too nerdy, but here goes.
Oh my God, Alan, thank you so much. I'm so excited.
First, some conditions and assumptions. The number I'm about to throw out is
Drew,
based...
occasionally I might need you to define some of what the terms he's going to throw around, but
Okay.
As you go through, like feel free to just wiki dictionary some of this.
Okay. Okay, some conditions and assumptions. The number I'm about to throw out is based on the following. Maximum manual braking, that is mashing the pedals to the floor as soon as the main gear landing gear touch down, forcing the anti-skid system to do its thing. This is not a normal procedure. Maximum reverse thrust on both engines, and automatic speed brakes, the multiple door looking things that pop up on the top of the wings automatically deploying on touchdown.
Like NASCAR.
Also assuming 15 degrees Celsius or 59 degrees Fahrenheit temperature, aka ISA standard. So the colder the air, the denser it is. So the more effective using the air to brake would be. No wind. So nothing helping or hurting the landing.
Okay. No headwind, no tailwind.
VREF plus 5 knots, if essentially not too fast and not too slow. I don't remember what VREF is. It's been a while since I've flown a plane, but the V speeds are basically the certain speeds that your aircraft can operate under. So he's
calculates
saying,
the base value of an airplane. Oh no, that can't be right. Forget what
so
I said.
not. I think what Alan is saying here is like we're not excessively slowing, like in danger of stalling.
You're not. Yeah, you're not coming in hot, but you're not like
yeah.
about to stall out, basically.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
1% downhill runway slope, which I think is fairly common, and touching down in the first 1,000 feet. So not
on the numbers.
Right. So not not being dangerous and touching down right at the very beginning of the runway. Also, we'd have to assume that the pavement could handle such big airplanes. Look up pavement classification numbers to explore that rabbit hole. That the track is wide enough for the huge wings. The stands might get in the way a little bit. And we have to throw the regulations and common sense out the window because no one would ever say this is a legal or good idea. All that being said, from an engineering standpoint, using the above conditions, a Boeing 777-300 weighing 350,000 pounds can come to a complete stop in a truly shocking 2,580 feet.
That's crazy.
It sounds fictional, but that's the number in the flight manual. Bear in mind, this is a passenger jet, albeit a very well-designed one. Military aircraft designed around taking off and landing on shorter runways are capable of even more ridiculous landing distances. Operation Credible Sport in 1980 had C-130s landing on a soccer pitch.
Holy shit.
So I've opened up that Wikipedia article. While I do that, can someone look up the Shanghai back straight distance? This email does not have it because 2,580 feet. It's like close to a kilometer, right? And this is less than half a mile. So
it's 1.17 kilometers, so about 0.73 miles.
So convert that to feet, and we'll see
meters
how far down the runway or the straight that this can be. Operation Credible Sport was
3,838 feet.
Okay.
3,838.
So basically 2/3. It would take up
runway
2/3.
to spare.
Yeah. Yeah. So Operation Credible Sport, this is from Wikipedia, a joint project. It never actually happened, but it was a plan to rescue hostages held in Iran in 1980.
Okay.
So basically,
Prescient.
it sounds like they would use rockets attached to a C-130
Yeah.
to both arrest the plane on the landing and then boost it on takeoff.
Yeah, it almost looks like a VTOL kind of system. That is crazy.
They do use these rockets relatively regularly for takeoffs, but I think this would be I don't know that it's common for them to use them to for landings.
That's wild. I mean, that's a big plane like that. It's not, you know what I mean?
Plane large.
That is crazy. Wow. My favorite thing about this email is Alan's wording to make sure he tells us that he thinks this is a bad idea, illegal, from an engineering standpoint. Like these are the words of a professional pilot making sure that he's not getting in any trouble. I love it.
Yeah.
That's great. I want to look up pavement classification. I want to see what my driveway is. Maybe I could get it upgraded, you know?
Yeah. By the way, ISA stands for International Standard Atmosphere. And
Okay.
I'm going to look up VREF.
It's good stuff. That is great. I would like to know what plane could... I guess it'll, just be like some sort of Embraer or something. Like what would comfortably land.
VREF is 1.3 times the stalling speed in the stated landing configuration at the prevailing
1.3?
aircraft weight. Yes.
That's
This is
pretty
the speed
close
required
then, right?
as the landing runway threshold is crossed at a height of 50 feet in landing configuration if the calculated aircraft performance is to be achieved.
Okay.
No,
So
1.3 is pretty. That's a pretty generous margin, though, right? Like, I mean,
I guess 30% over. Is that what it's saying? 30% over stall speed.
Yeah.
Like, okay. I guess if you're landing, you don't want to be that much further from stall speed.
Well,
know what
because
I
you
mean?
need
If
to be
you're
able to power
cruising,
out
you
of
don't
it
want to be
fat. Like
going-
at any moment, you
Yeah.
need to be able
Yeah.
to abort. Like,
And
the,
this
the
is-
second. Yeah.
this is when you're crossing the runway threshold, because
Right.
when you actually do land, you do stall. You have to fall
Right.
out of the sky to touch the
think
ground.
Been on a plane once that did a late abort. It was not awesome, but it was kind of awesome in retrospect. But
go
like,
around.
yeah, but like a late wave off, where it's like plane is well into the approach, and then
Yeah.
suddenly you just hear the engines like spike to max power, and suddenly like the thing is just rocketing back up into the sky. It is pretty bonkers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
I
also
was in
like
a-
makes people more anxious the second time around. I think that's the thing I don't like about it is the pressure then that exists in everyone's head about is it going to land this time, especially if you're doing wind. Like I think that's the
Yes.
yeah.
I was flying into Portland one time, and we had to go around multiple times, and because of wind, and did not end up landing there.
Really?
Yeah.
So I had a flight into I don't know what the Stockholm airport is not that big, right? The one outside
Yeah.
Stockholm. It's you're generally flying a regional jet in
Arlanda,
there.
I think it's
Yeah,
called.
yeah. But so you know these smaller aircraft, you feel the flight much more intensely, which can be kind of fun. But it wasn't this day because it was huge cross breezes, crosswinds, and so the plane was doing some wild crabbing. I don't want to think about what it would have looked like if you were standing at the runway, like photographing the
Yeah,
plane, because
awesome.
it felt like we had to be like 25-30 degrees off of straight from the nose. But crucially, it's not like that's stable. Like the plane is correcting for the crosswinds the entire time, and you're watching like it feels like the plane is pitching, like is rolling like a ship.
Yeah.
And it's like the wings gonna
It
clip
always
the ground if we
feels
land. We're gonna
worse
die.
than it
It's-
is.
it
you know what I
feels
mean?
so
It's like-
terrible.
yeah.
I was in a puddle jumper one time as a passenger, and seated by the window, and the crosswinds are so bad, I could look out my window at the runway.
Oh, that's
Like
crazy.
I could see the runway
Yep, that
from
was
my window.
Right.
That was the thing that was the part where I couldn't, because Arlanda has like a lot of trees next to it too, but it's like you look out the window and suddenly it just scrolls and you don't see sky anymore. You see trees and ground, and then boom, you see sky again, and only sky. And you're like, get me out of here.
I mean, so much apologies to anyone who's on a flight right now, listening to this, because I have my flight anxiety moments for sure. Even though I love flying, it's like sort of a contradiction in my head. But I often wonder, as somebody who flies into SFO a lot, I often wonder, does that freak people out? Because I'm so
I
used
love
to
it.
I love
Yeah.
it. No, I'm fine.
Describe
it's,
what you're talking about.
It's gorgeous. Yeah. So the approach into San Francisco is basically over the bay for a very, very, very extended period of time. And you don't see the land on what you're going to land on until you're basically hitting the runway. Like the runway is over the bay. It is like stretching out into the bay, and you get quite low. And
Yeah.
but like I don't think give it a second thought. But I was thinking a while ago, I was like, oh, I wonder if this is like your first time into SFO. Is this like terrifying? That
Right.
You're just like over,
that's water's getting pretty
You're like
close,
so-
guys.
yeah, you're like over a bridge, especially
Logan
if you're
Airport in
facing
Boston,
east.
similar thing, where it's like you
Oh,
are
right, yeah.
you're looking down at like shoals, rocks, and you're like, you can't see what's ahead of you, so you don't know like there's a huge airport like directly ahead. All you know is like, well, that's another craggy little island. Boy, like you couldn't even ditch safely here if you had to, because it's just like it's all shallows.
Well, a go around at SFO is also fun because they have to clear the mountain as well. It's like because
Oh, don't love that.
my favorite one is my favorite. I think I've talked about this before. My favorite departure is, I think it's John Wayne, which has the so it's Orange County Airport, which has there's a very wealthy neighborhood to its west lobbied to basically have it so they're not allowed have engine noises after I think it's like 8 o'clock or something.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll just like punch the sky on takeoff, like just go, 50% of the time they'll let you know, they'll come over the thing and go, hey, if this is the first time leaving John Wayne, just so you know, we're gonna hit it real hard on takeoff, and then we're gonna wind down the engines. So they just punch the sky. They go as fast as they can, and then when they get over this neighborhood, they like turn the engines down. So it's really weird. So you end up taking off. It goes like whoa, like faster than you've ever gone on a takeoff.
So wait,
and then it goes quiet.
So probably some other neighborhood is getting max power jet engines like at all hours.
Exactly. The blue collar neighborhood next door to it is getting like they have to reinforce their windows.
I always wonder about the tiny little like seaside towns on the approach to Logan, because it's like, I swear to God, it feels like you reach down and touch their roof sometimes.
Oh, funny.
And it's like this, they're gorgeous little islands. But also I always wonder, like, is this remotely livable? Because it's like you got nor'easters blowing in, all hell's breaking loose, and you got jets flying in all the time.
I always think that about SeaTac, because SeaTac is also like, it's like on a mesa almost. It's like SeaTac's like weirdly high. So like when you're flying in, there's this sort of neighborhood around it that's up on that like plateau, I guess. But you're looking out and you're seeing like loads of the rest of the city like kind of lower, like in Tacoma. So I always wonder, like, is it super loud up there for those people who live there?
The knows? Oakland runway that I was using when I was learning to fly has this restriction as well, and so I would take off and then in like almost in my climb have to turn.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was.
So you were taking
really
off westerly or easterly, northeasterly.
To the let's see, it was runway 24, so to the kind of west.
Okay. That's crazy.
So and then bank basically to the right to avoid that. So I had to learn my V speeds very, very well to be able to make sure I was climbing at the right speed and to be able to turn.
That's a stall. That's like an early pilot stall situation, right? Is like climbing and banking at the same time and not having enough speed, I guess. Yeah, nice. That's cool. God, that's a tricky place to learn.
Do I need to get rudder pedals?
Yeah,
it's not the most urgent thing, by all means. But as we plunge toward an uncertain future and scarcity of who knows what, do I need to like raid? Is Thrustmaster still basically where you just go? Is that your one-stop shop, Drew, or is there other different manufacturers that you should?
I have a lot of CH Products gear, which is a little cheaper.
Yeah, you do.
I think.
Yeah.
I haven't looked in a while because I bought them a long time ago. But I like their sticks and stuff because it's no frills, very matte black. It feels like 1990s flight sim gear.
For what it's worth, I have bought almost everything I had planned to buy in the past like 3 weeks for the rest of the year. I bought a new PC, new monitor.
I already feel like
television.
It's too late, but
I'm like, I'm anything. We had some stuff to do with the house. I'm just like, I'm terrified that everything is going to explode in price in the next few months. So
I just bought an AYN Thor.
What's that?
What?
Oh, it's an emulator device.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's it good at emulating?
Like a FrameMeister kind of thing, or like an actual
everything, bro.
Oh,
it's a dual screen Android device, so you got Nintendo DS on there.
DS on that thing? What's it called? The Thor?
And it plays like
Thor.
It plays like you're playing natively, but just like maybe even faster because the processor's better. Oh god,
look at this thing.
Hang on. Hey, folks, can you tell we're depressed? Hey, the world's pretty dark. You guys want to talk about your favorite approaches?
Listen,
hey, let's go shopping.
I couldn't go to Monaco for my birthday, so I am buying my own birthday gifts.
That's really cool. Look at that thing. That's awesome.
I'm trying to find something for Drew's birthday as well. I've got some cool lines on things.
It's a holiday. You gotta celebrate.
All right. email, Danny.
Thank you, Alan. That was great. Next one comes in from Dan. Thanks, Dan. Thanks for having a name like me. I recently returned to the US after living in Switzerland.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Danny, we gotta dig deep.
Oh my god. I know exactly. Never before, like 10 words in has the weight of this email suddenly. Oh my god, that's so funny. Okay, here we go. Whew, okay. I've been living in Switzerland for a year, and I thought I'd share my experience. After all, Rob called it a little weird because some might be surprised to hear a crumb of shit talked about such a highly regarded place, apart from the Nazi gold thing. The country is beautiful, extremely functional, timeliest trains in Europe, and very high trust. I once saw a $10,000 Rolex sitting on the shelf where you put your glasses before jumping into Lake Lucerne. On the other hand, Rob kind of nailed it when he said, what if an HOA got a country? There is a national stereotype / character called a Boonsly, which perfectly illustrates this and ever has its own subreddit
Even has
its own subreddit, sorry. Or / Boonsly, that's Buenzli. Has a Z in there, as is tradition. The typical Boonsly is someone's grandma who has lived her whole life in the same village, loves following the rules, and crucially will let you know if you don't. Among the rules are no recycling on Sunday, no laundry on Sunday, no noise after 10 p.m., including but not limited to hammering, sawing, vacuuming, taking a bath, and according to some, urinating while standing. Running afoul of the rules will likely earn you a letter from a Boonsly in your mailbox, or even it's Boonsly? I'll say Boonsly. In your mailbox, or even pinned to your door. Second offenses are typically reported to the police. I love the place, and I'm moving back this summer, but I could see how an Englishman who's used to being told what to do who's not used to being told what to do, could have his feathers ruffled. Yeah, I would say as a European transplant to America, I would say this type of lifestyle is pretty antithetical to the American way of living your life. I feel like this is this type of community deference. Like, Irish people are definitely capable of doing this as well. You know what I mean? English are very, you stand on the correct side of, on the escalator. If you're not going up, like, stand in line for the bus. Like, English are good at keeping calm and carrying on like that.
Yeah, and there are a lot of, cultures like this. I think what strikes me about Switzerland is that you do have this very sort of rule-following culture, but then you also have, and I guess tying this back to the beginning of the podcast, I recently read another Patrick Radden Keefe article about HSBC. This is from 2016. It's called "The Bank Robber" in the New Yorker. I can put a link in the show notes. Which is basically like, it's about a specific guy who leaked a bunch of financial documents of people who have their money in Swiss bank accounts,
right?
Which are notoriously, private. And it's about how, basically, like, oh yeah, everyone is committing tax fraud, and everyone in Switzerland knows it, or everyone in the Swiss banking system knows it. Now, this was 10 years ago, but
I think because that leak, things changed.
Right. Yes. So the dichotomy there is what really is kind of strange about the country.
I have, of course, the only natural thing to do after this email about Boonsly and our chat about airplanes is to look up Switzerland's strict flight noise laws, which apparently are as prevalent. Zurich Airport has a strict nighttime curfew that has been enforced since 2010. So between 11:30 and 6 a.m., the time between 11 and 11:30 may only be used to reduce a backlog of delayed flights, so they do not allow you to take off their non-commercial flights. Also, non-commercial between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. So you got to land. I mean, Tahoe has one of those, right? Tahoe, you can't.
A lot of airports have noise restrictions.
Yeah, you can't come in at certain times.
Did I see something about the town of Tahoe was recently like cut off from its water supply for a data center? I feel like I saw there's some wild stuff happening with water rights up in Tahoe.
They're putting data centers up in the high Sierras now. Is that the new way to cool things?
Or Tahoe is dependent for it was a power grid issue, or is like a water grid issue with the data center.
A lot going on up there.
Yeah,
there's always something going on.
One last email here.
Laws, avalanches. Yeah, it's wild.
Caleb writes, I've been an F1 fan since I was a kid in the early 90s. We had to listen on the radio because most races weren't broadcast in the US. We didn't have cable TV. I've always assumed that I knew what F1 drivers and engineers meant by drivability, and a lot of drivers and teams are using the term this year with the new regulations. Listening to a recent interview with Carlos Sainz, he listed drivability among a bunch of other characteristics that I thought were for synonyms of drivability, and I'm embarrassed to say I don't think I know what drivability actually refers to. Can you guys explain what they mean with this term? So I think by its nature is a wishy-washy term. When you hear drivers say, this car is undrivable, sometimes that doesn't mean anything really specific. Sometimes it means I'm pissed off. I'm just annoyed. But the thing that ultimately the characteristic of a drivable car is consistency. That doesn't mean it has to be a good car. It can be a really bad car, but it has to be bad in the same way. The driver has to be able to learn how to drive the car, whatever its deficiencies are. When they say something is undrivable, what they frequently mean is its handling characteristics, its issues are not remotely consistent based on what you are doing, and so you can't really learn how to drive it because, as far as you can tell, doing the same thing in the same circumstances will produce different results, and that will make your job impossible. So a easy example would be a car can have oversteer or understeer as just a tendency. Ideally, you would want that tendency to be consistent and predictable. It can understeer a lot. It can be really hard to get into a corner and around a corner. A driver can work with that as long as they can account for the fact that it just understeers like crazy. But if the car understeers like crazy, and then sometimes while you were trying to counter that with a lot of steering input, it suddenly oversteers like crazy, and the back end steps out, and now you're in a spin, that is a drivability issue. And even there, that's a simplified example. And like drivers, there are cars that do that. At a certain point, you put enough input into it, and the thing flips. But when they're talking about like drivability, you want these things to be like roughly smooth gradient. Like you sort of understand where these tipping points are, and you just want to have a sense for where these characteristics land. If a car is really inconsistent with how it approaches different corners, or like when understeer will show up and when oversteer will show up, and it becomes unpredictable, that is an undrivable car. And that is fundamentally, I think, what they are getting at with these terms, where we are not in a position where I, as a driver, can meaningfully even help you like wring performance out of this thing, because I don't fully know what is going to happen when I do simple things like brake, turn, steer, accelerate. Different things happen when I'm doing the same thing, as far as I can tell. And so like the most extreme examples, are like a car that lap by lap, you approach a corner, the driver fundamentally doesn't really know what's going to happen when they get into it.
Yeah, good description. All right, well, anything else to add, Danny?
On that one? No.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to tell without knowing what the other synonyms were mentioned as well, bit of context. But yeah, I would say Rob sums it up pretty well.
Yeah. All right. Well, shiftf1podcast@gmail.com or f1.cool/emails. You can also follow us on the socials using the link in the show notes. That is us around the internet. Do we want to take it around the world, Danny?
Let's race around the world. Yeah.
you were facing away from the camera and then had to whip back around
Oh,
to
yeah.
say the race around the world, much like oh my god, what was the what was the cricket game?
Oh, Don Bradman. Yeah. You little ripper. Don Bradman cricket. It's good stuff. I was whipping around because I don't know if the book's here. I was looking for it earlier in my old office.
We got the World Rally Championship in Zagreb this weekend for the Croatia Rally. We've got the Craftsman Trucks at Bristol Motor Speedway in Bristol, Tennessee for the Tennessee Army National Guard 250.
Tennessee has an army.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
The NASCAR O'Reilly Series is also in Bristol for the Suburban Propane 300.
Man, does Hank Hill wave the flag at the end of that one?
Sure hope
Propane and can I admit something?
What?
My Fortnite skin is Hank Hill.
Amazing.
And Towley is his little mascot. I've Towley that walks with Towley from South Park.
Wow.
Never always remember to bring a towel.
Fortnite is... Repco Supercars. Supercars. They are at the Taupo International Motorsport Park and Events Center in Rotokawa, New Zealand.
Oh, I was expecting a prefecture.
Surprise.
Wow, surprising.
Of Australia. Super GT is at Okoyama, Denny, in Mimasaka, Okoyama Prefecture.
Oh, classic prefecture. Wonder what it's.
The NHRA is in the Pomona, California Prefecture for the. I'm sorry, the Lucas Oil Winter Nationals at the In-N-Out Burger Pomona Drag Strip.
Get in. Yes.
Has anyone
Yes.
ever said "get in" to
bet
an
In-N-Out.
In-N-Out Burger? Get in and out. I get it.
Get in and out. Do it. McDonald's stole its thing from there. This is the original burger experience. Cheap burgers, good burgers. Stick that Five
This
Guys.
is. I have. Let me just say.
Let's get into it.
First, there was enthusiasm for In-N-Out, right?
Sure.
And then you had the In-N-Out haters. that
Yes.
think In-N-Out is overrated. I am here to be the follow-on to that, the haters of the In-N-Out haters, because here's what the people who hate In-N-Out never tell you is
It's
that
like $5.
they go like, you know what? Five Guys is actually a superior burger. Look how much they cost.
Yes.
In-N-Out burger prices are very cheap, and they pay their
very
employees very well.
Have
So-
you been to a McDonald's? I went to McDonald's recently. I never eat at McDonald's. They had this like K-pop Demon Hunters meal thing, so of course I had to bring my daughter to be best dad in the world. So we went and got K-pop Demon Hunter stuff. McDonald's isn't cheap anymore. I walked away with like $40 worth of food. Taco Bell is the same problem. Nothing like all these places that used to be like, hey, let's spend like $10 and get an army of food. You know what I mean? Like stoner places. It doesn't happen anymore.
I ordered Shake Shack the other day, and now they've never been cheap, and they've always like gouged you on a bunch of stuff. But like literally, I opened a little container, 6 onion rings.
Oh man, that's depressing.
6.
Wow. In this economy.
I was like, what is happening here? This is the stingiest thing I've ever seen. The onion rings are like being treated like precious gold. It's absurd.
the onion supply chain is
Yeah.
Motocross Grand Prix.
Burgers, but still, they're way too expensive. They're so expensive.
Motocross Grand Prix is in Italy for the MXGP of Sardinia,
Ooh, beautiful.
and we got NASCAR
Yeehaw. We in Tennessee.
also in Bristol for the
Bristol.
Food City.
Food
500.
City. Love Food City. Can't wait to go to Food City. Drive down those beautiful avenues. Made of French fries.
Yep.
No Grimoire this week, Danny.
No,
It's
I
in the
couldn't
other barn?
find it. Well, it sounds like things are grim enough maybe by the time this goes up. I don't know. So maybe it may be appropriate, but no, I couldn't find it. It's in the other place. The other place.
Well, thanks
Remember,
for.
I told you, I live out here now. My wife, she kicked me out of the fucking house. She said she's had enough of me drinking and me smoking and me gallivanting. So now I have to live out here with the.
Is this
with
the equivalent
goats.
of me doing the NASCAR
The
voice?
NASCAR voice? Is that what it is?
Johnny McGinty here by. How you doing? I'm from County Limerick. I'm having a great time having a smoke. Do you want to go for some pints? Go for some jars?
Danny,
Yeah.
I have to tell you, I was in an Uber recently, and the driver was Jamaican, and I absolutely, I didn't consider it
Suddenly you
until he
heard
started speaking. I heard it.
Was he a white Jamaican guy?
No,
Okay.
but the accent made me think of you, and then
really?
I remembered, and then I remembered how you were saying that.
Yeah, the viral video of the guy from
Right.
Cork talking, and everyone in Jamaica was like, "Why is this guy speaking patois?" And then, apparently, subsequently, there has been like videos by the Jamaican linguists basically saying like, "Yeah, this is real." Like Irish people were, working alongside a lot of the Jamaican,
They were coworkers.
yeah,
Don't need to say more.
Yeah.
just friendly coworkers.
Can you send me
Exactly.
one of those videos? I'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty good stuff, yeah. That was the Cork accent. Down in Cork, they all speak like that. Down in Cork, they're all a bunch of langers.
Wow.
There you go. I'm done with my
I
Irish
think,
accents.
I think the Scanlons are from Cork.
Great. You've done well getting rid of the accent, let me say.
The
Thank you.
Brassels are from Meath.
Meath,
okay.
oh, beautiful
It
Meath.
always feels like not a lot is happening out in Meath.
No, Meath, Westmeath. They have 2 counties basically, and not a lot happens in either of them. You can kind of commute to Dublin from there though. They're nice places out there. Kildare, it's nice, good stuff. By the way, we do have our next race isn't until the 1st of May. The weekend starts, but the next one after that's not till the 22nd. So we actually have like 2 races in like 6 or 7 weeks, folks. This is not awesome. And there's a week break between that and Monaco as well.
Right. So the only gap we have is, first
for
we'll have
podcasts.
for podcasts.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So again, just to reiterate here, next week we'll put up the Drive to Survive Part 1 in the regular feed.
Yes, for everyone.
Then we will have a gap in the regular feed, but the Formula 2 primer will be going up for patrons.
Yes.
And then the following week is the Miami GP pre-race.
Yes.
Then we'll have the post-race Miami. And then there is a gap.
Yeah.
Does anyone
May-
think
May
there's a
13th.
possibility? Like, I know F1 is averse as hell to doing this. Nobody wants to mess with the money, but like, at what point are people going to start pressuring athletes and teams across the board to ban events in the U.S., to skip events in the U.S.?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see, I guess. The World Cup and yeah.
All right, let's get out of here.
Yeah, let's
thank
get
you,
out of
everyone, for joining us on this real weird episode. It's been, I guess, it's been.
Wait,
it's been
I
weird.
have final thoughts, Drew. Do you find the In-N-Out fries defensible, though?
You have to eat them immediately.
Animal style as well.
Then you
that
really got
helps.
to eat them immediately. I do agree. I like a big, messy animal-style fries, but like they're kind of soggy. Like,
Yeah, they're not.
And they can be a little styrofoamy as well, but it helps to have them hot. And you ask for salt because sometimes they don't have enough for me. So you got to doctor them a little bit, eat them real fast.
Can I pour one out for Amy's drive-through? They've closed them all.
Oh
Did you ever go to Amy's?
no,
Amy's the vegetarian drive-through up here, and
right?
you know they make all the like canned vegetarian pre-made it's good vegetarian food. Their headquarters are here in Petaluma, but yeah, they had a bunch of really good drive-through places, and I think they've shut them all down. Like in the past couple of weeks, they were awesome. It was a veggie drive-through. My wife's veggie, so it was good stuff. Pour one out.
All right. Well, if you would like to support the show and get access to all of our bonus episodes, the early ad-free version of the podcast, and the official Shift+F1 Discord, you can do so over at patreon.com/Shift+F1. Have a good race weekend, everyone. We will see you all, sort of, next week.